Cosmic Fear Garou, the one who was given power from God, versus Bon, the one who fights against gods. Who would win if they ever faced each other in a battle? Starting off with Garou, who has one of the most easiest scaling I have ever seen, which his scaling is based on him fighting Saitama on one of Jupiter's moons, which we see the clash of Saitama and Garou being able to destroy multiple solar systems to possibly galaxies. But when Saitama time travels to the past to beat past the Garou before the fight started, we see causality be reversed, and we can see how many stars and galaxies were in the area of the space that they destroyed. So this feat should be multi-galaxy level, since there is at least 3 galaxies in the area. Not to mention, but Saitama gets stronger throughout the fight, and Garou copies that Saitama's strength until he couldn't copy it anymore. So Garou should easily be able to do this feat on his own. As for his speed, he is easily FTL plus, since in his weaker form he was able to fight high quality seed, aka Platinum Juzz, and were able to do this feat in 13 millionth of a second, which was calculated to be 4.33 times FTL. And within the Saitama fight, we see Saitama blitzing around one of Jupiter's shattered moons, which was recalculated to be 22.85 times FTL. The reason why the previous calculation was rejected is because there is no time frame given for us to use, so we can't measure the feat of Saitama blitzing around Jupiter's moons. So they used the feat of Garou being able to move in 0.1 seconds. So yeah, Cosmic Fear Garou should be FTL to FTL plus.
If you want to use the very high-end estimates for Garou's speed, for example his 22,854 times or his 1,758 times massively faster than light speed feats, then Bon can be argued to match or even exceed those levels through various scaling routes.
And if you really want to wank him, you can get him to MFDL plus by using questionable time frames. As for abilities, Cosmic Fear Garou has a lot, so I'll only be talking about the ones of note, which is his ability to copy one's power and speed. He also has the ability to copy abilities and techniques once he understands how the ability works, as shown when he copied Blast's ability. Or he could use the other person's mode, such as Saitama mode, to instantly copy their abilities, or more so techniques like martial arts. He also has radiation and has nuclear punches and gravity knuckle. He also has the knowledge of the flow of the universe and can create natural phenomena such as gamma ray bursts, black holes, and has subspace gates which he can open portals to travel through. But how does all of his stats and abilities compare to Bon? Bon has a extremely good feat of damaging the Prime Demon King. Bon was able to kick the Demon King and send him flying, while the Demon King was amping his sword with Hellblaze, so he was 10 times stronger since Hellblaze is destroyer type magic, and he was able to damage him with his sacred treasure attacks. And y'all should know this by now, but the Demon King created the Demon Realm, which is a separate dimension and has its own space, time, and matter like a normal universe. And we see stars and moons in it, and a sunrise indicating there is a sun. So the Demon Realm is a universe, as it has been referred to as a world where demons reside in, which can only mean universe since it's not just a planet, nor do demons live in a planet. And it's also not society, since the society are the demons who live in the realm. So bare minimum, it's a universe. If you don't like that, you can use Arthur destroying and recreating the universe on a whim, and the 7 deadly sins are considered a threat to Arthur by Arthur himself, as not even he knows a way to deal with the sins. Even though they are scattered, doing their own thing, protecting their own land, yet Arthur isn't confident enough in just rocking up and soloing their place. So bare minimum, Bond is universal. You can argue higher, but I'll wait until I make my video on the topic of how strong is 7 Deadly Sins verse. Anyway, we've talked about power, but how fast is Bond based on feats? So based on feats, Small Diane in like early season 2 has the feat of dodging light arrows from Gother, which is stated to be actual light in the data books. So bare minimum, their light speed. This was calculated to be 4.1 times FTL, and this makes sense since Goddess's light is made out of photons, and we see baby celestials who are descendants of the goddesses shoot out these light beams in the Prisoners of the Sky movie. So yeah, light speed should be the bare minimum. You also have base Meliodas blitzing his son and Arthur, which was calculated to be 50 times FTL, which this is consistent if you think Meliodas' speed is as fast as Zeldris' Ominous Nebula, which was calculated to be 25 times faster than light, but then he doubles his speed, making it 50 times FTL, which this is a weaker Zeldris and in a lower demon mod. But say less, even though a weaker Meliodas no diff to Zeldris, let's just say he never got faster. This is fine since base Bond is relative to base Meliodas at the end of the series in terms of speed. So Bond is 4.1 times to 50 times FTL in base.
For the most extreme interpretations, you can argue Bond reaches irrelevant or immeasurable or even infinite speed by engaging with Meliodas' emotions, which are abstract, non-physical concepts not bounded by space or time. You could also argue by potentially scaling to chaos, described as a conceptual contradiction, embodying opposing ideas simultaneously, being pure light and impure darkness, the will of power and a will without a will. Meliodas states he should have separated chaos from Arthur, implying the capability of affecting this conceptual entity, and which also implies that he's fast enough to do so. Or you could use Kath, who directly fights chaos at some point in time and is described as a transcendent being transcendent of life and death, suggesting operating beyond conventional space or time. Or you could use 5-dimensional travel feats, where Bon and Meliodas' emotions cross between realities, potentially implying immeasurable or irrelevant speed, if interpreted as moving outside normal space-time. You could also argue the same thing for Black Hounds, I think they're called, which is Oslo's species who exist between 2 dimensions, which means that he's outside of those realities, which would also mean he's outside of space and time. Or through high-end interpretations of infinite speed in Seven Deadly Sins, such as Galen blitzing teleportation, Meliodas describing teleportation as having no time delay, which implies that it's within 0 time, or the Demon King moving in stopped time and destroying said area that time was stopped, or Milligadon catching and reacting to a teleported weapon by Gawain, and so on. These, however, are highly speculative interpretations and often considered overreaching. For a more finite speed scaling for Bon has a clear multipliers in the narrative, even using the minimal assumptions, i.e. 2 times per increase. Season 1 Seven Deadly Sins characters can reach speed levels comparable to Garou's lower end estimates. The series also features numerous rapid power-ups, blitzes, and one-shots that support significant scaling, but realistically, you can use the 10 times increase from magic-imbued weapons as a basis for one-shots and blitzes. As we see, it also amps your speed and not just your AP, which in Seven Deadly Sins, whenever your power increases, so does your speed. Not like speed even matters in this topic, but yeah, we've seen this to be the case in pretty much every time any character gets stronger, they also get significantly faster. When Meliodas got his power back from the Druid arc, which was just his pure power, he got significantly faster. When Percival amped his sword with magic for the first time, he got significantly faster. It wasn't just his AP. And every character that has a transformation or uses more power, they get faster as well. So you can use the power multipliers for their speeds within Seven Deadly Sins. And if we were to do that, if I were being honest, if I were to use the multipliers throughout the entire series, like base Bond would be perception blitzing the entirety of One Punch Man verse, which I'm not going to do. So, for the love of God, let's just use the lower interpretations just to make things interesting.
As for his abilities, he has his innate ability Snatch, which he can rob his opponent of their speed and power, but he was able to somehow evolve this ability in Purgatory, which he is able to give people his life energy and strength, which means with Snatch, he is able to steal life energy, since Gift is the reverse curse technique of Snatch. And we know in Seven Deadly Sins, thanks to Lancelot, abilities can either evolve or power up. So it seems that Bond's innate ability just evolved. Bond also has Zero Sign, which he can erase his presence so that you can't see, nor hear, or even sense his existence, as we see him do that to the 10 Commandments, when he wanted to go save Meliodas. Well, he tried. Bon also has Fox Hunt, which is a application of Snatch. He can steal objects like people, weapons, or other items, but he can also steal your organs such as your heart, teeth, or even your brain if he wanted to. Also, this technique is instant, more like he teleports them to his hands. We'll even see him take out more than one organ at a time. He was able to take out 5 of Melascula's hearts. Bon also has a mind reading, so he could read your mind in battles. We see his son do it, so there's no reason why he couldn't. So who would win in this fight? And honestly, it's kinda close, because Garou can copy Bon's power and speed by using Bon mode, since Garou instantly used Saitama mode when Saitama was going to one-shot him if he didn't. So Garou will be equal to Bon until Bon amps his weapon with magic and gets 2 times stronger. But then Garou could copy that new level of power and speed. Then Bon would steal all of Cosmic Fear Garou's power and speed, and then Garou would copy that, and then Bon steals it again and again and again. It will be like how Saitama was getting stronger and stronger and Garou couldn't keep up, and eventually Saitama would one-shot him. But for those that say, oh, Bon has a limit to what he can take, and I would say, well, we see a weaker version of Bon steal base Meliodas' power and speed, and that Meliodas was 3 times stronger than Bon, and he was able to blitz Bon until Bon started stealing his speed and then strength. We also know that Bon spending 100 years in purgatory with Meliodas boost all of his stats and had adapted to purgatory for him to be unaffected. And if we go by One Punch Man standards, we see Merlin break everyone's limits using power limit break to use power beyond their limitations. So you could argue if Bon fights someone like Garou, he could keep on going, and also Bon can more likely steal your stamina to replenish his own. And we see Bon uses infinite life energy to revive Elaine, so he could not have any limitations to what he can steal on a 3D level. But what about cosmic radiation? Does Bon have any resistance to that? And funny enough, he does, since he can be around Mael and Escanor, who can create suns, which suns do emit radiation since they're stars. And also he has survived worse, such as Purgatory, which destroys the mind, body, and soul, and it manipulates your biology on a physical and spiritual and potentially on a conceptual level, since Meliodas' emotions was able to be affected, yet Bon can just ignore that. So yeah, cosmic radiation won't work, nor would subspace gates, as Bon has fought a stronger versions of the Demon King, which a weaker version of the Demon King was able to effect spatial portals that lead to a different dimension from a distance. And we see someone like Melascula warp space-time to connect to Purgatory, to the real world, and how she warped space 100 miles around a country. So spatial hacks isn't gonna save Garou, and Bon doesn't need to fistfight Garou, as he could just steal his heart or brain and Garou is dead, since he doesn't have regeneration. Plus, Bon can read his mind, which would make it hard to hit Bon. Also, Garou won't be able to copy any of Bon's abilities since Bon has supernatural energy, which is called magic, and there's no evidence to prove that Garou can copy magic abilities since One Punch Man verse doesn't have a energy system to equalize the energies, so we can't say that Garou can do that. At the end of the day,
the winner is Bon. And for those of you that want to sponsor your own video and want to help your boy out, make a living, and pay his money thirsty pirates of editors, then do send a request on my PayPal account if you have PayPal, obviously. If not, say less. But if you do want to help your boy out, link me up on PayPal, send a message on what video you want done, and if it's One Piece related, I'm gonna get Ghost Riders because I'm not reading One Piece at all. It's just too long. But yeah, that's it for the video, and please like, subscribe, and peace.